Did you ever look at the Galaxy Z Fold and think, this thing is cool, but what if it were wider? Well, Samsung seems to have asked the same question, and the answer might arrive next summer as the so-called wide Galaxy Z Fold. Leaked specs, early renders, and a few cryptic software hints are painting a picture that feels a little less like yesterday's Samsung, and a lot more like Google's first-gen Pixel Fold. Today we're breaking down everything we know, what it means for people who already use foldables, and why Apple's rumored entrance could shake up the whole scene. Stick around because by the end of this video you'll know whether to wait, save, or skip Samsung's next big foldable idea. Let's kick things off with the most obvious change, the shape. Current Z Fold models open into a tall, almost square display that's great for reading but awkward for movies unless you letterbox. The new wide fold is rumored to run a 16:10 aspect ratio on its inside screen. Think of most Android tablets you've held. They are more landscape-friendly and less like a stretched phone. Digital chat stations leak pins that panel at 7.6 inches corner to corner. Yes, that is the exact same inch count as Google's first Pixel Fold. Side by side though, the two devices may not look identical because bezel size and hinge placement still matter. Google's original model had noticeably chunky borders, especially around the selfie camera. Samsung, on the other hand, appears to be trimming bezels closer to what we saw on the Z Fold 7. So even with the same diagonal, usable space could feel larger on Samsung's take. Now, why chase a wider design in the first place? A wider screen means a video fills more of the display without big black bars on top and bottom. Games that already support tablet layouts can stretch properly, giving on-screen controls more room. And multitasking becomes simpler when two portrait apps can sit side by side without feeling cramped. Anyone who has tried split screen on a tall Z Fold knows that half the width can get tight. The wider layout fixes that pain point right away. However, widen the inside, and you automatically widen the cover display too. That leads to the next engineering puzzle, typing comfort on the outside screen. The perfect cover display needs to be narrow enough for your thumb to reach across yet wide enough for a full keyboard. Leaks point towards Samsung dialing back the inside panel from the Z Fold 7's 7.9 inches to 7.6 inches, purely to keep the outer display from ballooning. It's a small cut but could make typing one-handed feel like a normal smartphone again. For people who text a lot while walking, that minor tweak might be the make or break detail. Moving under the hood, the leaks mention Qualcomm's Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5. That is the successor to the Gen 4 found in many 2025 flagships. Early performance numbers suggest about a 20% jump in CPU and a healthy bump in GPU efficiency. In plain terms, your apps open faster, heavy photo edits render sooner, and AAA mobile games keep their frame rates without cooking the battery. Speaking of battery, the number getting tossed around is 4,800 mAh, split between two cells. That capacity lands right between the Z Fold 7's 4,400 mAh, so we're not talking marathon power like some Chinese foldables, but Samsung aims for an all-day target without adding extra thickness. Given the more efficient chip, screen tech refinements, and Samsung's power-saving modes, most people should wake up, scroll, stream, commute, shoot photos, doom scroll again, and still hit bedtime above 15%. Cameras are another solid clue that this phone isn't a quick side project. Leaks say a 200 megapixel main, a 50 megapixel ultra-wide, and a 10 megapixel telephoto. That's the exact combo rumored for the standard Z Fold 8, meaning Samsung doesn't want the wide model to feel like a watered-down experiment. High-res sensors also hint at continued use of in-sensor crop for zoom rather than relying on a bulky periscope lens. With more pixels to play with, digital zoom up to 5x could look cleaner than on older folds. Now let's zoom out and see how this wide fold fits the bigger industry timeline. Apple is reportedly entering the foldable arena in 2026, with a product some insiders label the foldable iPhone or iPhone Air. Their plan, according to supply chain chatter, is a near-creaseless panel and software tweaks that turn iOS into more of an iPad-like experience when unfolded. Samsung knows that if Apple nails the mini tablet vibe on day one, buyers will immediately compare every other foldable to it. So releasing a wider Z Fold before Apple ships could give Samsung two key advantages. First, the company can gather real-world feedback on the wide format, refine hinges, optimize apps, and roll out a second-gen update by the time Apple launches. Second, marketing-wise, Samsung can say, "We got there first, and we listened to users long before anyone else." But it's not all sunshine for Samsung. A wider body means more surface to protect, and hinge stress changes when the torque spreads over a larger span. Water and dust resistance ratings could remain at IPX8, but Samsung will need to demonstrate the same durability it built into the Fold 7. Repairability is another area buyers keep watching. Self-service repair kits grew in popularity, so expect questions about adhesive strength and spare part pricing. Let's take a quick historical pit stop. Remember Google's Nexus 7 from 2012? 7-inch, 16 by 10, perfect for Netflix marathons back when binge-watching meant rebuffering every 10 minutes. The rumored wide fold is basically a modern Nexus 7 that folds in half and fits in your pocket. That comparison makes the idea of a 7.6-inch foldable less intimidating. We've carried that panel size before, we just never had the option to fold it shut. So what's in it for someone who already owns a Z Fold 6 or Z Fold 7? If you love reading articles in portrait, the taller shape you have may still be better. If you mostly watch YouTube, Twitch, and movies, the wider fold will feel more natural and waste less screen space. The new aspect ratio also removes the need to rotate the phone for tabletop video calls, something Pixel Fold owners praised a lot. Samsung could improve flex mode by letting two house party video windows sit on top while the lower half holds chat reactions, turning the phone into a mini laptop setup. Developers, meanwhile, get a fresh challenge. Apps optimized for the current fold likely scale fine, but layouts hard-coded for 6:5 might need updates to avoid awkward gaps. Google already solved this for the Pixel Fold, so many big apps quietly added support in 2023. That head start should help Samsung users too. Samsung can also leverage its collaboration with Google to push One UI tweaks on day one, unlike first-gen devices, which often shipped and then waited for patches. We can't ignore the elephant in the room: price. The Z Fold 7 debuted at around $1,800 in the US. Samsung hasn't confirmed numbers, but insiders expect the wide model to slot in close to that, maybe a bit under to entice buyers. Early adopters of new form factors usually pay a premium, yet Samsung might temper that premium thanks to economies of scale on 7.6-inch panels. If Apple comes in above $2,000, Samsung has room to position itself as the value option in the luxury foldable tier. Samsung can frame the wide fold as the practical middle child, bigger than a flip, less wild than a trifold, but tuned for streaming and gaming. In other words, the sweet spot for most customers who want a foldable, but don't want extremes. Now let's shift to real-world usage scenarios. Picture boarding a flight, unfolding to 16:10, and a 1080 pixels movie fills almost the entire screen with minimal black bars. No need for awkward zoom cropping that slices off subtitles. Slide the panel into split screen, and you can chat in Discord on one side while the film keeps playing. Land, fold shut, throw in your pocket, and head to baggage claim without juggling a tablet case. That is the kind of convenience Samsung is banking on. So there you have it. A 7.6-inch, 16:10 Snapdragon 8 Gen 5 powered foldable that seems to borrow Google's homework, tweak it, and turn it in early before Apple shows up. Whether you're a movie junkie, a multitasking pro, or just curious about the next wave of phone design, the wide Z Fold could be the one to watch this summer. Now I want to hear from you. Would you ditch the tall fold for a wider one? Does the 4,800 mAh battery sound enough, or should Samsung push it further? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. And if you enjoyed this video, please give the video a like. It helps the channel reach more tech fans just like you. Don't forget to subscribe and tap the bell so you won't miss our hands-on coverage once review units arrive. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.